Hey there folks, I'm here to teach you the computer programming with Java and Python. Before moving into the core concepts, I want to give a brief introduction about me. I'm Sairam by name and a software engineer by profession with 2+ years of experience. I'm showing up here just to share my knowledge with you guys. That's all about me for now. Let's get into the agenda. So this course is on both Python and Java. First we'll deal with Java and then we'll move to Python. So in Java, these are all the concepts that we are gonna cover. So this Java course is of 4 weeks. That means a month nearly. We'll deal pretty much everything in this month with hands-on examples and homeworks. So we'll start a course with overview, and then we'll go to environment setup, and then we'll learn what is objects and classes. Then we'll learn about data types and variables, and then we'll learn about arrays, file IO, exceptions, object-oriented, and multi-threading, and then we'll learn these collections, which are data structures, and pretty much everything. So in today's agenda, we are gonna cover what is overview. We are gonna cover on these topics. Overview, like so. We'll move to overview now. What is Java? So basically, what is Java? Java is a simple object-oriented programming language that was initiated by James Gosling and was originally developed by Sun Microsystems. Now it is taken over by this Oracle people. So Java is a object-oriented programming language, and it is a platform independent. We'll discuss on this. This is pretty much beautiful, and then it is pretty simple, not as simple as Python, but it is simple, and it is pretty much secure because it will provide us the encapsulation inheritance, and it'll provide with very secure features. And it is portable, and it is multi-threaded, and Java is high performance compared to Python, not as high as C, because C will directly deal with hardware, whereas Java will first deal with JVM, and JVM will internally write its own C program to communicate with the hardware. So we'll learn why Java is called as platform independent. So Java is platform independent. That means Java, you can execute Java program in any operating system you want. Like, say for example, now if I wrote a C program in Windows, I cannot execute the C program in Linux distro or in Mac OS, because as the operating system changes, C code will not be valid. C has to be written on each and every what we call the operating system. Whereas Java, you can write your code in any operating system and you can execute in any operating system. So why Java is giving this feature? Why not C? So Java will not directly run on operating system. Java will run on JVM. JVM is a Java virtual machine which is platform dependent. JVM is platform dependent, so you cannot install JVM of Windows on JVM of Linux. You cannot install this JVM of Windows in Linux, because that is not platform independent. Whereas Java is platform independent, because Java, when you compile the Java code, it'll in turn converted into bytecode. This bytecode is executed by JVM. So you can transfer this bytecode from one machine, from one operating system to other operating system, and then you can execute that bytecode by using JVM. So if you don't have JVM and I want to run this bytecode, then you can't do that. So first we'll go with the environment setup. So first we have to install the Java. In order to install the Java, we'll go to Java, type Java in the open your Google Chrome and type Java in it. It'll take us to Java Oracle. I've already told you Java is now acquired by Oracle, not by Sun Microsystems. So you go to Java, just Java download, click on Java download. Now you just agree and start downloading. So since Java is already installed on my system, so I don't want to install it again. Once we are done with Java, we'll use the IDE for this. What is IDE? IDE is an integrated development environment that comes with uh, APIs that will reduce our work. Okay, so now I'm using Eclipse IDE for this tutorial. We have many IDEs for Java, like we can use Visual Studio Code, and we can use NetBeans, Eclipse, pretty much everything. So you can download Eclipse by opening Google Chrome and type Eclipse in search bar. Then you'll get all the results, and you just click on any of the results. You can choose any of the IDE you want or you wish to. So you just click on this download 64-bit. So it'll automatically download all these things. Okay, all the requisites that you want to. Default workspace, please choose. Okay, I'm getting that error because Eclipse is already open in my system. So once you download the Java, you need to do another additional steps. First you have to make this Java available for our command prompt. Say for example, now on install you will not uh, by default added to this Java is not by default added to your command prompt. See for example, now if you open CMD, one minute. If you open CMD and type Java C, see it is coming as Java C is not recognized as internal or external command. So you need to set a environment path for that, so that your Java is available locally, I mean globally. So in order to do that, you just have to open this uh, uh, environment, edit this system environment variables. You just click on that. Then you just click on environment variables. See, you need to add a path to your you need to add your path of Java to the environment variables. Okay, you'll find this path in your local disk C, program files, and Java. In Java, open your JDK, go to bin. You just copy this bin and just go to system properties, environment variables, path. You just click on edit, new, just paste the path and click on OK, and then click on OK, then click on OK. Done. I think we are pretty much done with everything. Okay, first let me remove the slider. Okay, now we'll open this command prompt again. Open cmd. Now type java c. Now you got this java compiler applied for, globally. I mean, this java, now this java is you can execute a java program from anywhere. Like, say for example, now I can create a text document with java extension, like, say for example, main class.java, main.java. Open with TextPad, no purple space, write class, sorry, write public class main, uh, public, sorry, this is the main problem with the java. All these closing braces, semicolons are pretty much important in java, whereas in python we don't need all this shit. So now we'll write public class main, then we write public static void main string array args. Okay, system dot out dot println of I am a noob programmer. Okay, so if java c is not available in cmd, then you will not be able to execute this main.java. Okay, now we'll move to desktop, since desktop is in our file reside in desktop. Now we'll type java c main.java. Okay, so what this java c will do, java c will convert our main java class, sorry, main java file into dot class file. Okay, this dot class file is a byte representation of our file. Okay, now this java dot class file is executed by jvm. Okay, so this dot java class is executed by jvm. Now we'll type java main. Okay, you can write main dot class as well, but we'll type main. Java main, if you type, now you got this I'm a new programmer, because we are asked we are uh, we are asked the computer to print this line. Okay, that is our code says to computer, you just go print whatever I'm saying. Okay, now our computer did whatever it says. It just prints the I am a no programmer. So this is why we use java. We set up environment variable. If you use eclipse ide, you do not have to do all the shit. You just have to come to IDE, you just start, click on file, new, click on Java project. So this is our project name. Okay, you can give any name you want, but the project name has to be like all small cases, like com dot example dot java tutorial. Okay, if you click on next, you have to you have a you are given with an option to select the jdk. So jdk is a java development kit which comes with both java compiler and java executor, like jre. You need to download jre if uh, if it is not there in your computer. So basically what jre will do is it will execute your code. So use jre, currently jdk 11.0.2. Okay, so I'm using jre with this compatible jdk. Okay, now if I click on next, it will go and see, it created one project for me with the source file, whereas this src file is called a source file, wherein inside which we'll write all our codes. Okay, you just click on finish. So we don't want module yet. Modules are like packages, we just don't want it now. We're just gonna create a simple program. Okay, now I'll right click. See, this JRE will consist of pretty much everything, like JD, this JRE will come with all the packages that we are required, to execute a program. If I click on new and class, so this is our class name. Previously we gave it as main, right? So you can give any name you want. Okay, now I'll give the class name as hello world. So class name should be in Pascal case. We'll have two type of cases in programming world. One is camel case and other is Pascal case. Camel case will start with small letter, and it will start with caps. Then after, if we all have multiple words, like say for example, hello and the world are two different words, so it will start with the caps on every new word. In Pascal case, the starting letter will be capital, whereas in camel case it should be small. Rest all is the same. Okay, so it's giving me an warning saying that your class name is not a Pascal, so you just convert this class name to Pascal. Okay, now I have converted this class name to Pascal, and now the error is gone. So here we are given with an option called create a public static void main for me. Okay, I'll just ask this Eclipse to create a public static void main for me, because I'm too lazy to do that. So it is pretty much the same as this guy, what we have created in our local machine. So public class main. So we'll not cover these packages right now. We'll cover this later. Do not match an existing package, declare package. Okay, so it wants us to, okay, this is a package. I actually didn't saw this. Okay, so we are inside this package called Java tutorial, and then have uh, we have written a class called hello world, which will print us the which will syso is a shortcut for system.out.println in Eclipse. So you can write I am a noob programmer inside this one. Okay, now if I run this guy, he should be able to print this I'm a noob programmer inside this console. So we'll learn on each and every damn thing that was written in this code. Okay, first we'll start with public. Okay, these are public, private. We'll have four types of access modifiers. These public, all these are called as access modifiers. So we have almost around 11 access modifiers in Java. Access modifiers in Java. Okay, we have almost 11 access modifiers in Java. So we'll deal with four for now. After that we'll deal with rest of the things. First is public, and then it's private. Third one it's default. And fourth one it's uh, abstract is OI, and it's public, private, default, and protected. Okay, these are all the four data types, sorry, access modifiers that we are going to deal with for now. So these are called as access modifiers. These guys will allow us to access the data from one package to other packages. Like, say for example, now if I click on this private, class cannot be private, we'll deal with that later, and we'll access a variable private here. Private integer, say some variable is equal to 10. Okay, so this guy is denoted as private. So private access modifier will allow us to access this variable only inside this class. If you are trying to access this variable from other class, it will throw you an error. Say for example now, so class will write another class that whose name is hello. Okay, so psvm public static, sorry. So what this guy will do is this guy will create a, so first we'll create a static block, because static block will execute without this guy without public static void main. Now say for example, now if I have to access this hello world program, I'm creating the hello world, h is equal to new hello world. Come on. So if I create h dot some variable, h dot some variable home, see, it throws me an error, it gives me an error. See, it gives me an error. What it says is it is not visible. That means you cannot access this variable from other class. Okay, this whatever the variable that is declared with private, that variable is accessed only by that class. You cannot access that variable from anywhere else. See, now if I've created one object of hello world, see, we'll learn all these things later, but you just try to understand why how this private is you know how can we access this private and all. Okay, so this private is not allowing us to access from the other class. Say for example, now if I create this, or if I change this private to public, our error should be gone. See, our error is gone. Complete local variable declaration, sorry. Sorry, SYSO control space, copy this guy, paste this guy. See, now you can access this guy from here. Okay, whereas if I change this to private, so it gives me an error saying that this variable is not it is not visible. So this is the main difference between private and public. Public, you can, if a variable or a method that is declared with the public, then you can access that method or variable in every class you want. Like this private gives us more security, whereas public will not give us that security. Okay, and then we'll move to default. Default is something uh, the variable that is declared with public, the variable that is declared with public, you can access this variable from anywhere. Okay, if the variable is declared in public, you can access this from anywhere. Say for example, now I have created one more project, new one more package. Okay, this is called the Java tutorial, and we'll name this as Java tutorial 2. Okay, tutorial 2. Finish. Inside Java tutorial, I want to write a class. Okay, I'm writing a class called uh, access other data at public static void main. Okay, so now I'll import the package import com dot example dot java tutorial. Say for example, if I have to import any variable or something from this package, I have to declare this import. Okay, now I got a permission to import all the classes that are there inside this Java tutorial. Okay, now inside Java tutorial we have one class called hello world, and that is declared as private. Okay, we'll declare this as private for now, and I'll comment out this class because it will throw me an error. Okay, now if I try to import the class, and if I try to say that hello world h is equal to new hello world, now h dot, we have one variable that is what is that variable, I forgot the name, that is some variable. Okay, if I ask my compiler or my Java program to access that variable some program, it will throw me an error because some program is nowhere there in it is not visible. Sys or control space shift and 1 minute now. Okay, so this some program is not visible because some program cannot be resolved. It is not a field. Why we are getting this error? Because the data type that is given for this variable is private. So private, if a variable or method that is declared in private, then this can be accessed by the class itself, by the class itself. Okay, you cannot access that from the same from the other class or from the other package. Okay, you cannot access that from the other package or from this other class. Okay, now what is this default? So I'll show this with the public. Okay, private is done. Now we'll change this to public, and if I come here What is it saying? It's not a field. How come it's not a field? It's a field now. Public int. So it probably it's not saved or sorry. H dot some variable. Okay. Now we got it. If I execute this guy now run this guy, see I got the output as 10. So basically this is what it does. Public, if I declare a variable in public, then I can access that variable from anywhere. So like for example, now I have access to this variable public from the other package, right? So you can with this public modifier you can access that variable. You are giving the ability for other programs to execute to access this variable. Okay, so private we dealt with, and public we dealt with. Now we deal with default. So what this default will do is this default, so if you do not declare anything, then it is automatically a default variable. Okay, so this default, if any variable that is declared as default, I mean you do not declare anything, that is automatically taken as default. So if a variable is default, then that variable is accessed only inside that package, but not by the other package. Say for example, now if I write a new class, called hello2, okay, hello2, and I'll write this as public static void main. So if I open hello2 and I'll import this hello world program here. So hello world h is equal to new hello world sorry, new hello world. Now if I print this guy h dot some variable, right? So if I execute this guy hello2, right click, run as Java application. So sorry, okay, now I proceeded this. So why I got that warning? Because this class is open and this is another package, so it is giving me an error. So some variable is not visible. Because this variable is declared as default, you can access this default variable inside this package from anywhere, but you cannot access this default variable from the other package. That is why you are getting error over here. Okay, so we'll move to other programming, other access modifier, that is protected. If I declare this as protected, so what protected will do is this. So protected is pretty much the same as default, but protected has an ability, has an extra ability, that is if any class of other package, if any class of other package extends the class of the variable, then you can access the variable. You got me? So say for example, now I got an error, right? So you can access this some variable from anywhere inside this package. So if I go to this hello2 world.java, and if I run this program, it executes pretty smoothly. Okay, I'll get this guy. I'll get this output as okay. I click run this guy as a Java application. Okay, there is an error exists in this another class, so it is raising me an error. That's okay. So I got the output as 10. So this protected will also allow us to access this variable from other class inside this package. So if you want to access this variable from the other package, then what you have to do is you have to extend this class. Okay, extends hello world. Okay, so if you extend this guy, then h dot some variable. So 1 minute variable. Then if I extend that guy, so sorry, some variable. Okay, cannot be accessed because that is a non-static variable. Okay, 1 minute, let me change this to static. static static. Okay, see, we'll discuss about this static variable anywhere, somewhere in the future. Okay, so now I think you can access this variable from here. Let me run this program. See, I'm running this access other data, run as Java program. Okay, I got the answer as 10. Okay, for the confirmation, I'll add one more variable, sorry, one more print statement that says uh, we are in access other data class. Okay, so we'll first take this and then we'll print this guy. Now we are in the access other data class, so it should print both of the statements. So it has printed both the statements. So this is all about the access modifiers. So public, we'll what we call we'll summarize everything over here. So what public class will do is it will allow it will give us a capability, or it will give the variable to it will give a capability to a variable to be accessed from everywhere. Like you can access this from other package, from other class, like pretty much from everywhere. Okay, so what this private guy will do, so this private guy will allow you to access this variable only within this class, not from the other class also. Like say for example, now if I create this as private, um, now this guy, sorry, hello2 cannot be hello2 cannot access that variable because this variable is declared as private, and all the private variables are are being accessed from or within the class itself. Now will if I remove all the access modifiers, then that is treated as default, and all these default variables are accessed only within the package. Okay, you can write one more class, and you can access this variable from the other class also inside this package. So if you go to this other package, then you cannot access that variable even though we extend this hello world class. So if now if we move to this what we call now after so if the variable is declared as protected, then you can access this variable uh, within this class, sorry, within this package, and the class that extends this class are eligible to access this variable. Okay, so hope you understood everything. So if I wrote this protector, if I write this as protector, you can access this variable from within this package, from or within this package. So hello2 is also been able to give us the output as 10. Now if I run this as Java, so it is giving me as 10 because it is able to access this this sum variable And this Java 2, the other package class access other data, is also able to access that data. Okay, so that is a capability of protected. Okay, now I think we dealt with this access modifiers. I'm removing all shit. Okay, so next we come with class. So what is a class? A class is uh, a class is basically a template of an object. So it doesn't mean everything. Like, it is just a template to show, like, this is an hello world class. That's it. There is no much representation of it. Okay, so everything we write, every program that we write in Java must start with class. Okay, I mean, without class there is no existence of Java program. Okay, so now this is a class variable. So basically what a class means is it is just a template of an object. So, and what is an object? Object is a object is pretty much everything, is pretty much everything in Java. So what is object? So object is something that has both all the variables, methods, and all. Okay, so in non-technical terminology, say for example I want to give an example. A student is a class, and what are all the objects that student hold? He holds ID. A student have a unique ID. So a student has a department, a student has a gender, a student has ability. Like, all these things will be come under this object. And the student, basically a student will represent the class. Okay, say for example now, I'll give an example. Class student. Okay, class student. So what this student will hold, the student will hold an ID. The student will hold a department. Okay, 1 minute. What the hell? Okay, this student will hold a department. This student will hold a gender. This student will hold what we call that. Mm, we can hold pretty much everything, like a department, ID, ability. He can hold habits and pretty much everything. So all these things are objects. All these guys are objects, and this guy is a student. The student is a class. Just class is a template of this object. Okay, so all these objects are done by whom? A student. So a student is a class, and all these objects are objects. Okay, so that is a basic difference in object so that is called as class and object. So we are done with pretty much everything in access modifiers and class. I hope we dealt everything in class. Now this is just identification for class. Say for example now, previously we gave it a student. Now this is a hello world. Just we are naming the class, that's it, nothing more than that. So we are giving the template name over here. So okay, hello world, what this guy will do, it will just show me the hello world, or I'm a new programmer inside console. Okay, this whatever that is there inside this hello world is called as an object, and this hello world is a template. Okay, this is just an identifier. So hello world is an identifier. Every class will you know you can write an empty class also. You can execute this empty class also, like public class sorry every Java file should have one and only public class. You cannot have two public classes. Okay, say for example, now if I write public class some class, then my compiler will give me errors saying that public type some class must be defined in its own file. Okay, so you can have only one public class for each Java file. Okay, if I remove this public modifier from that, now Java JVM will not throw any errors. Like, oh sorry, I don't know, it just stuck here. So there is basically no error over here. I don't know why this Eclipse is showing this bullshit. Okay, so now we don't have any issues over here. So now we have this sum class over here. Okay, so what I would like to teach you, I forgot it. We're dealing with hello world class. 1 minute. Yeah, now we can write any number of classes inside a Java file, and also you can write an empty class also. Okay, this class doesn't contain any method, or this class doesn't contain any variable or so. So now if I try to run this hello world.java, it will run without any errors. See, it printed I am a no programmer. So class can be empty. Class can exist without an object also, but object cannot exist without a class. Say for example, now I'll remove everything from here, and if I try to write in to say in some x is equal to 10, it gives me an error. Okay, so object does not exist without any class. Only class can exist without objects. Okay, hope that is all good. Okay, so say for example, now if I create a uh, new class, I'll name this class as some class. Okay, and if I click on finish, see, if I try to execute this class, I'll get an error. I'll tell you why. Really sorry. Where is this guy? Some class. Actually, it is not even there in the stack. Okay. Some class. If I click on this uh, public static void main string array args. Okay. Now I think I can execute this guy. We'll run a Java application. Okay. So if I comment this Java line, I may not be execute this guy, because a Java file will first will start its execution from main. Without this main method, I may not be execute this Java class. Okay, now you can ask me why it is not an issue with the hello world program. Like I can write this class over here without any main or so. Say for example, some if I write a class without any without any method. I wrote a class without any method, but now we are not getting any error. Why this class is raising me an error? Like some class is raising me an error. You can ask me that, but but see, individual class cannot exist without any method. Okay, say for example, now this is a public class, right? So public class cannot execute without a method. I mean without a main method. all the child classes that are not public can be executed without a method. So that is a main agenda, like I would like to point out this one. So any public class that is there inside a Java or inside your package, if you have a public class, you cannot have a public class without a static method. So that is a point that has to be noted. And now we are good to go with public static void main. So we just dealt with public and I'll remove this guy. We just dealt with public, then we move to static. Okay, static is something like just like declaring a variable with their own data type. Like static is something that is executed only once, but is execute sorry, that is compiled only once, but is executed n number of times. Say for example, now I have one variable that is declared as static, and I have one variable that is declared as normal default, something like int. Okay, sorry, static int and int. Okay, so this static int will be compiled only once and is executed n number of times, whereas this int will be executed n number of times and also compiled n number of times. I'll give the basic idea of how it will be and how it has to be. So if I click on the static int, if I declare something as static int, our program will our objects, I need a pencil for this. I've got a paint. I'm not really sure. See, say for example, now this is a object. Okay, this is a hello world object. Okay, this is a hello world object and it has one variable that is called static variable. This is a static variable. I'll name it as s. Okay, and this has one more variable that is say for example y. Okay, and this y is normal variable. This is not static variable. So what if you compile this code, then JVM will compile this code and it will execute the static code at once. I mean, this variable is a top level variable and this is a object level variable. Say for example, now if I have to if I have to access this variable y, I need to access this object. Okay, I need to create this object in the memory and then only I will get this variable. Elsewhere I'll not. First I need to create this guy in memory. Okay, elsewhere it is not possible for me to access this guy, this y, without creating, I mean without creating any object of this class. You can access this static variable. Okay, you can access this static variable. I'll show you the difference between so I hope you got the concept, and I'll show you the difference between this guy and this guy. So now I'm writing this class as say for example, now if I write public static integer some value is equal to 10. Okay, oh I'm really sorry. Okay, I have my semicolon. Yeah, so public static int value is equal to 10, and I am writing one more variable that is some value int some value, or like we'll write it like this. Okay, static value. Okay, click on delete. Okay, static value, and this is non-static value. Non-static value. and is equal to, say for example, it's a 20 semicolon. Yeah, say for example now it's a 20. So if I try to access this system.out.println of non-static variable, say for example now if I click on non-static, sorry, non-static, it's non-static value. See, even though this non-static variable is declared inside this class, it is not able to access that variable. Why? Because this is a non-static variable. If you declare something as static, say for example now if I access this static variable, you can access this static value. Okay, say for example if I run this code, run. Okay, now I got the value as 10. I'm really sorry. I got the value as 10 because this is a static value. What static value will do is, whenever this class, whenever the hello world class, whenever we try to execute this hello world class, it will first find all the static variables and execute first. Okay, and sorry, it will first find all the static variables and it will load into their memory. Okay, now I got this static variable. Sorry, I'll create all these things. I'll create all these things. Now whenever I try to run this hello world.java, okay, whenever I try to this hello world.java, so what this guy will do is it will load all the objects into this memory. Okay, this is the static block. This is a static block. This is a static block and this is an object. Okay. So inside this static class, inside this static block, now whenever I try to run this hello world, it will first find all the static blocks, all the static variables, and will load into this object. Say now I got the static value as 10 and the variable is some value, right? So and the variable is some value, static value. Okay, now this variable is static value and it will just load all these static values. So whenever I try to access this static variable, if I try to access the static variable, it is available. This static variable is allowed from anywhere. Okay, like without declaring, without accessing this object hello world, or without creating this object hello world, you can access this static variable. That is the advantage of the static variables. If you are declaring something like non-static variable, then you must create this object, then only you will be able to access that variable. Now say for example if I have to access this non-static variable, syso, if I have to access that non-static variable, I have to create this hello world object. Hello world h is equal to new hello world. Okay, new hello world. Now if I try to print this guy, h dot, what is a variable? Non-static value. Okay, now you will be able to access this non-static value. Right click, run, click on this. Okay, let me proceed with that. So now you will be able to access this non-static value and static value. So this is the main advantage of static values. Without creating any object in the memory, you will be able to access the static values. Without creating any without creating any object in the memory, you cannot access the non-static values. Okay, that is the main advantage of static and non-static values. we'll have something called static blocks. We'll discuss about that later. So in hello world program, sorry, we have pretty much discussed everything. Like, okay, let me delete all these guys. Okay, we have dealt with public, we dealt with static, and this is a void. Like, this is a return type. Okay, so we can have any return type we want. We can return class, we can return objects, we can return primitives, we can return pretty much everything. Primitives, and we can return everything. Okay. Oh, 1 minute. We can return pretty much everything. See, for example, if I write this public static void as public static int, it will not allow, because public static void main is a default, and JVM will search for public static void main because while executing the class. Okay, if you try to change this static, or if you remove the static, or if you do anything like then this code will not be executed by JVM. Say for example, now if I write this as click on run as see, it is not allowing me to run this code, because this is it is not, finding the public static void main class, sorry, public static void main method. static. Okay, so if you have to run this class, then you must have this public static void main void main method. Then that, now I write one more method that is called as public. It will say, for example, it will return me an int, public in some method. Okay, some method, sorry, this is not a naming convention. All the methods, variables, and all should be in camel casing, and classes and project name should be Pascal casing. Okay, so why it is giving me an error? It is giving me an error because this method should return me an integer. Okay, so now if I write return 10, okay, then the error will go, then this error will go. So now if I try to run this method, I mean, since this is not a static method, you must declare the object. So I want to avoid the declaration of sorry, if the creation of objects, I'll write it as static. Okay, static. Okay, now I can directly access this method from anywhere. So if I write some method, okay, now if I try to execute this guy, run as, oh, run this guy. Okay, see, it printed as it returned 10. Okay, and it print the 10, and then it in the new program. So this is basically a return type. You can return pretty much everything. Okay, this void represents, like, it will not return anything. Say for example, if I type it as void, and if I try to return something, it will give me an error. Okay, you cannot return anything when the return type is void. Okay, that's it. That's it about this void. Sorry, that's it about this return type. And then this is the name of this method. Main is the name of this method. You can give any name you want, but this notation of this is camel casing. You must use camel casing for this. So I've already told you, camel casing start with small letter, and then each word that separates with a space should be written as capital. Say for example, a main event, or say for example, hello world, like this. Okay, this is a camel casing, and Pascal casing will start with capital letter, like hello world, like this. Okay, so this is a representation of this methods and variables. So string array. Okay, this will take an array of arguments. Like this is useful when we deal with command line arguments. Okay, we are not dealing with command line arguments now. Okay, we'll deal with command. We'll not deal with command line arguments now. We'll deal with that tomorrow. So, so this basically gives this arguments is a string array arguments, and we are storing those arguments array of arguments, and we are storing that as a string. Okay, I mean we this returns me the string array arguments, and we are storing it in one variable, that is args. Say for example, now I can be able to print that arguments as args of 0 and 1. Okay, this system dot out dot println of hello world, or I'm a new programmer. Okay, so what this guy will do, system is one class. Okay, like however we do this hello world and hello world to some class, this system is one more class. Sorry, system is a package. Okay, system is like this, com.example.java tutorial is a system. Okay, and inside which we have one more class called out. Okay, system package has one class called out. This out has a method called println. Okay, this println method will print the something that we pass to it. Hope you got it. So system is a class. Sorry, system is a package. System is a package. And out is a class, and println is a method inside the class, inside out class. Okay, so I'll tell you how exactly this will work. Say for example, now I have to print this. There is a variable called uh, int xyz. Okay, sorry, int xyz is equal to short t. Okay, so this int variable can be accessed like this also. Like I can access this as com dot example dot java tutorial dot hello world dot xyz. I can access this like this also. So for example, I'll declare this public. Okay, I can access like this also. This variable can be accessed like this also, or you can directly access this by using this import something. Or see for example, now I'll not import this guy. Okay, see we are in other package, java tutorial tool. Now we are not extending this hello world class also. Okay, we'll try to print that guy. Shift home backspace. Okay, now if I try to access this that variable, what is that variable, xyz. If I try to access this variable xyz from other package, what I will do is I will write I have to know where this hello world class is. So for example, I know where the hello world class is. So what I'll do is java, sorry, what is the class, com dot example dot java tutorial dot hello world is equal to com dot hello world h. Okay, is equal to com dot example dot shit com dot exa sorry com dot example dot java tutorial example dot java tutorial dot hello world. Okay, so now I got this guy com dot hello world guy. 1 minute, object should be accessed with new variable. So new, okay. So now I got this guy as, so previously what we did, we imported that package and we accessed that variable. Right now what we are doing, instead of importing, we are writing that package name, and then we wrote this class name, and then we are, what we are trying to do is we have this com dot example dot java tutorial hello world h is equal to new hello world. Okay, so what we are doing here, we are accessing that variable. That variable in sorry, we'll create one more method, man. Method will be pretty much good for us. Okay, what we'll do is uh, public static it will return me something, say for example int some method. Okay, we'll take some method. Okay, it will take some method and it will take some input also. Okay, we'll not return anything, we'll just keep it as void. Okay, void some method, it will take one string as example, string example. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll print the example. Okay, print this example. So if I go to this guy, oh hell, 1 minute, where is this? This is yeah, if I try to print this some method from this guy, so how this system dot out dot println will execute, I'll show you now. So first what we are doing, we are getting this package name. So this can be represented as system. I mean this can, we can imagine this as system. Okay, inside system we have one variable, that is hello world. Okay, we have one system and we have one variable, that is hello world. Now sorry, we have one package and we have a class. Okay, that is called as hello world. What we are doing the class, I don't want to do all this shit. So what inside this class, say for example this is a system, I will write that guide here also. Okay, yeah, we have this one now. So this is all of this is represented as system. Okay, and this I mean this system is a package and com.example.java tutorial is a package that we can see over here. Inside this package what we have one class called hello world. See, inside this system also we have one class called out. Okay, same like this. And then if I click on dot, it will return me all the methods that are there inside this hello world. Now I have created one method that is called as sum method. Okay, what this sum method will take, say I have one method inside this out called as println. What this println will take, it will take one argument, right? So I and my class also will take one argument, that is I'll show you. Say for example now I want to print as I am demoing something. Okay, so now I'd like to print this one inside this console. Okay, so if I try to run this guy, see what I should get. I'm demoing this, I'm demoing something, and we are in the another class, right? See what it is doing, it is first go fetching this package, and then it is going to that class, and then it is going to that method, and to this method we are passing one argument as string. See, this is expecting one string, and what we are doing, we are just printing that string. Likewise This we the Java packages will have one class called system. So we have one base class over here. Root of all classes inside in Java is object class. Okay, so object class is the root class of all these objects. Sorry, all these classes. Say for example, sorry, its root means it is a parent class, and all these classes are child classes. Now, say for example, now I can access object class without its declaration also. That is the root class. I mean, each and every child will extend that object class. Okay, and so we'll deal with later. We'll deal with that later. So I hope you got all the my intention on this system.out.println. Okay, so this is all for today. We'll discuss about integers and data types, what are all these XYZ, and all these guys in tomorrow's class. That's all. Thank you for today. Bye bye.